When my boss denied me a promotion for the second time, despite leading every damn project, I decided I was done playing nice. It wasn't just disappointing, it was humiliating. I'm Carly, 29, and I've been working in digital marketing for almost 8 years now. I've climbed my way up by sheer grit, results, and overtime. So when I got passed over again, for a team lead position I practically built from scratch, something inside me snapped. It wasn't about ego, it was about fairness. Alex, my manager, didn't even look me in the eye when he told me. Just muttered something vague like, "We're going a different direction," and walked off, sipping his fucking black coffee like it was just another Tuesday. And the person who got the promotion. Ben, new guy, fresh out of some fintech startup. Friendly, funny, absolutely average. I'd trained him 3 months ago. The anger didn't hit all at once. It curdled slowly, like spoiled cream in my morning latte. At first I thought, maybe it's just timing. Maybe they think I'm too valuable in my current role. But as the days passed, that excuse felt thinner and thinner. Especially when I found out Ben was already being looped into management meetings and high-level strategy calls I wasn't even invited to. That same day, I went to lunch with 2 of my closest coworkers, Kira and Danny. We'd been in the trenches together through rebrands, crises, layoffs. I told them what happened, trying to keep my voice light. Kira's face twisted. "Wait, you led the March launch. You built the entire TikTok pipeline from scratch. What the hell is going on?" Danny didn't even try to soften it. "It's Alex, I'm sorry, but the guy just doesn't promote women. Look at his team, 3 guys in leadership, 0 women, it's a pattern." I wanted to argue, I really did. But as she spoke, it hit me, she was right. In the last 18 months, we'd had 2 other internal promotions. Both men, both less qualified. One of them even asked me to explain how attribution modeling worked after his promotion. I couldn't sleep that night. My mind ran loops. Was I imagining things? Was I just bitter? Or was I being gaslit by a smiling boys' club in Slack threads and hallway nods? By Friday, I started documenting. I opened a private Google Doc and wrote everything I remembered. Projects I'd led. Trainings I'd conducted. Praise Alex had emailed me. Names of every man promoted under his management. It wasn't petty, it was preparation. Because if I was being sidelined because of my gender, or worse, because Alex didn't see me as leadership material, I needed proof. I couldn't just feel something was wrong. I needed to show it. The moment I knew this was real, not paranoia, not pride, was during Monday's check-in. I asked Alex, flat out, "Can you give me clarity on why I wasn't considered for the team lead role?" He blinked again, then said, "It wasn't about qualifications, Carly. We just felt Ben would bring a different energy to the team." A different energy? I almost laughed. "Okay, so what does that mean?" I asked. "What energy exactly am I lacking?" He opened his mouth, closed it, looked uncomfortable. "I'm not sure this is productive," he muttered. And just like that, the conversation was over. Later that day, Danny slid into my DMs with a screenshot. Ben had just been invited to the leadership offsite in Miami next month. He'd been here 100 days. I stared at the screen until my eyes blurred. Then I wrote my first draft of the HR complaint. I didn't submit it yet. I wanted to talk to one more person. Erica. She used to be on our team 2 years ago. Brilliant, analytical, dry sense of humor. Then one day, poof. Gone. No warning, no goodbye. I sent her a message on LinkedIn. "Hey, weird question. Do you remember anything off about Alex back when you worked here?" She replied almost instantly. "Yes." Just one word, but it was loaded. Then can't say much over text, but I'm glad someone, finally asking. My heart thudded in my chest. What the hell had I stumbled into? Erica agreed to meet for coffee the next day. I showed up early, heart pounding, wondering what exactly I was about to hear. She arrived 5 minutes late, still the same sharp blazer, still the same unreadable face. She greeted me like we were meeting to talk about marketing trends, not workplace skeletons. We ordered, sat, I couldn't hold back. "So, what happened with Alex?" She sipped her chai, then said, "I'm guessing he's still avoiding promoting women." I blinked. "Wait, you noticed that too?" I was the first, she said quietly. The first woman on the digital team. I built the original analytics dashboard. Alex promised me a leadership track, gave me glowing reviews. Then suddenly, out of nowhere, Ben 1 got promoted. Sound familiar? I nodded, trying not to let the nausea creep up my throat. But here's the thing, she continued. It's not just sexism, at least it wasn't with me. There was another layer. She paused. Her eyes flicked over my shoulder, like she was checking who might be listening. I had a blog back then. Personal stuff, books, fitness, photography. I didn't even post that often. But someone started commenting. Harmless at first, then weird, then aggressive. I blocked them. They found my Instagram, then my Twitter. They DM'd my sister, emailed my mom. My chest tightened. What does that have to do with Alex? I asked. She gave me a long look. The stalker was his ex. I froze. She and I had never met. But apparently, she was monitoring every woman who worked closely with Alex. Anyone who got too friendly with him became a target. I didn't know until it was too late. Until I came outside one night and found a note on my windshield. You think you're special? You're not. My hands went cold. I reported it to HR, Erica said. But there wasn't much they could do. She never used her real name. They couldn't link her to Alex. And Alex, well, he went weirdly silent. Avoidant, like he didn't want to deal with it. What did he say to you? He just told me he was sorry, and that he hoped I'd be okay. Then a week later, I got reassigned to an internal project. 3 months after that, I quit. She looked at me like she was trying to decide how much to tell me. I think he's scared. I think he's been trying to manage her without involving anyone else. And I think he's made this rule for himself: don't elevate any woman, don't get too close. Because the moment a woman stands out, she becomes a target. I stared at her. Are you saying he didn't promote me to protect me? I'm saying, she replied carefully, he's scared of what might happen if he does. I left the coffee shop, feeling like someone had knocked the floor out from under me. The story didn't sit right, because if it was true, if there was a stalker, then Alex should have told me, warned me, done something. Instead, he'd let me twist in the wind. Let me think it was me. Let me humiliate myself. And yet, I couldn't ignore what Erica said. It made sense in a sick, twisted way. The secrecy, the distance, the sudden, unexplained shifts. But my pride was still raw. My name had already been whispered across the office. My LinkedIn post, now with 23,000 likes, was circulating in marketing Slack groups. I'd received dozens of DMs from women praising me for speaking truth to power. How the hell was I supposed to walk that back? Later that week, I noticed something strange. A woman I didn't recognize came into our office. Blonde, early 30s, expensive sunglasses. She signed in at the front desk and sat in the visitors area for almost 40 minutes. No one claimed her. She didn't ask to speak to anyone, she just waited. Then she left. The receptionist said she gave the name J. Daniels. Not on the schedule, no appointment. A chill ran through me. I Googled J. Daniels plus Alex plus stalker that night. Nothing. Then I searched Facebook, Instagram, Reddit. And then I found a 5-year-old blog post on a relationship support forum, written by someone using the handle at JustGen22. My boyfriend said he had to keep his distance from female coworkers to protect them. Is that just an excuse? He says one woman he used to work with filed a restraining order against me, but I was only trying to warn her. It had a single comment. If he's hiding you from women, ask yourself why he's even around them at all. The post was dated 6 months before Erica left the company. I stared at the screen, heart racing. This was real. I wasn't ready to admit it to anyone yet. Not to Danny, not to Kira, not to HR. But something told me the truth was a hell of a lot messier than I'd thought. And maybe I'd just blown the whistle on the wrong thing. By Monday morning, the office felt different. Tighter, quieter, like the air had tension in it, and I knew why. My LinkedIn post had gone viral. 23,000 likes had turned into 47. My inbox was flooded. I had interview requests, podcast invites, strangers writing, "You're the reason I'm finally quitting my toxic job." Only, my job wasn't as toxic as I thought anymore. Not in the way I said it was. Because now I knew about her. And I knew that Alex hadn't promoted me not because I was a woman, but because I was a target. But the internet didn't know that, HR didn't know that, my team didn't know that. They only knew what I'd made them believe. And then the bomb dropped. At 10:42 a.m., I got an email from HR. Subject, urgent, required attendance, workplace investigation. Carly, we'd like to speak with you regarding concerns raised in response to your recent online activity and internal communications. Please meet with us at 2:00 p.m. today. HR. I stared at the screen, pulse in my ears. I wanted to scream. This wasn't what I wanted. I'd started a conversation, that was all, a fair one, a necessary one. Wasn't it? When I walked into the HR room at 2:00 p.m., Lisa, the same rep I'd casually looped into an earlier chat about promotion trends, was already sitting there, stiff and unreadable. Thanks for coming, she said. There was a second HR rep this time, a man I didn't recognize. He didn't smile. Lisa folded her hands. Carly, we've received several reports from employees who are feeling uncomfortable about the ongoing public narrative involving a direct supervisor in this department. I blinked. I haven't named anyone. You haven't, she agreed. But given the specificity of your role and the viral nature of your post, the connection has been made. Several people have reached out internally, concerned that your messaging may not reflect the actual work environment. I swallowed hard. Are you launching an investigation against me? No, she said, not officially. Yet. But we are opening a review. Then the real punch landed. She pulled out a printed copy of the blog post, the one from just Gen 22. My stomach dropped. Did you write this? She asked. What? No, God, no. Lisa glanced at the second rep. Then, can you explain why this was submitted anonymously to HR with a note saying you had been digging into personal matters that violate another employee's privacy? I couldn't speak. Carly, Lisa said gently, have you been looking into Alex's past relationships? My jaw locked. Someone else told me. Erica, a former employee. She said she was stalked. I didn't go looking for dirt. I just needed to understand why he wouldn't promote me. Lisa sighed. The issue is not just what you learned. It's what you published. Your post positioned Alex as a sexist gatekeeper, and now you're admitting he may have had a reason for his decision that he didn't disclose publicly and possibly for legal reasons. I felt heat crawling up my neck. So, I'm the villain now. No one said that, she replied quickly. But we need to be very careful. If there's any truth to what you've uncovered, we'll need to open a separate case. But that also means any public statements made in the meantime could legally expose the company. I was spinning. Just a few days ago, I'd felt powerful, liberated, like I was finally standing up for something. Now I was sitting in front of HR, being warned that I could face consequences if what I said was true. Because if it was false, I was just a loud, wrong woman online. And if it was true, I'd expose the company's liability. Lisa leaned forward. Carly, I need to ask this directly. Do you have any proof of this alleged stalker? Any documentation? Screenshots? Witnesses? My voice cracked. No, only what Erica told me. Lisa nodded slowly. Then for now, we're pausing all investigation into your promotion complaint, effective immediately. We'll be conducting internal interviews, and we ask that you refrain from posting further on this matter. I left that room in a fog. Outside the HR suite, I saw Ben standing by the coffee machine. He looked at me, didn't smile, didn't wave. Just turned back around. Something had shifted. I wasn't the brave one anymore. I was the unstable one, the troublemaker, the woman who screamed discrimination and then whispered oops when the truth got messy. Back at my desk, Kira messaged me. Hey, what's going on? HR just asked to talk to me about your post. Are we in trouble? Then Danny. Did you seriously post about Alex while knowing all that stalker stuff? Carly, what the hell? The pit in my stomach widened. I'd blown the whistle. Only the smoke was choking me now. It only took 3 days for my entire office to start treating me like I was radioactive. The people who used to say hi in the kitchen suddenly had their headphones in. I got pulled from the client pitch I'd been prepping for 2 weeks. No explanation, just a calendar update that now listed Ben as the lead. At first, I tried to play it off, like maybe people were just busy or caught up in their own drama. But the truth was sitting right in front of me. I had gone to war over a narrative, and now no one wanted to be caught standing too close to the fallout. Even Kira had gone quiet. She sent one vague, "Hey, just wanna give space" text and hadn't spoken to me since the HR interviews started. Danny unfollowed me on LinkedIn. I noticed. Of course I noticed. Meanwhile, Alex had disappeared completely. He hadn't been seen in the office since Monday. He wasn't on Slack. He wasn't answering emails. The only thing anyone had heard was that he was on medical leave, which didn't even make sense, considering the last time I saw him he looked fine, exhausted maybe, but fine. But I couldn't ask about him without sounding obsessed, and that word was already being whispered. Obsessed. Paranoid. Emotional. Words that stick like gum to a woman's resume. That Friday, I was sitting alone at lunch, picking at a protein bar I didn't want, when one of the security guys, Jard, I think, walked by the glass doors. He paused, came in. "You Carly." My heart stuttered, "Yeah." He held up his phone. "Just wanted to let you know, this woman came by again today, same one from earlier this week. Blonde, blue scarf this time, said she had an informal meeting with someone on your team." My breath caught. Did she say a name? He shook his head. "Nope, but she hung out in the lobby for a while, didn't sign in, left when I came back with a badge for her." I tried to keep my voice even. "Did she leave anything behind?" He raised an eyebrow. "Weirdly, yeah." He handed me a small envelope. No name, no label, just a blank cream card. Inside was a single Polaroid photo. It was of me. From behind. Walking into work. The timestamp showed it was taken 3 days ago, on the morning of my HR meeting. I couldn't breathe. Jard watched me, his expression hardening. "Is this a problem we should know about?" I nodded slowly, folding the photo and shoving it deep into my coat pocket. Yeah, it is." I didn't go back to my desk. I walked straight out of the building and sat in my car, trying not to throw up. This wasn't just office politics anymore. This wasn't just about a promotion or an angry blog post. Someone was watching me. And I was starting to believe Erica had undersold how dangerous this woman really was. Because this wasn't just intimidation. It was a message, "You're on her radar now." I called Lisa from HR. She didn't answer, but I left a message, then another, then sent an email with the photo attached. No response. I sat there in my car for over an hour, replaying everything in my head: Erica's story, the cryptic forum post, the visitor logs, the envelope, Alex's sudden disappearance. It didn't add up. Unless he wasn't protecting himself anymore. He was trying to protect me. From something I didn't even understand when I pulled the trigger on that post. That night I pulled up my LinkedIn again. My heart dropped. Someone had posted a long comment thread under my viral post, anonymous at first, then backed up by multiple burner accounts. It said, "Maybe you should have asked why he didn't promote you before throwing your career under the bus. Not every villain has a penis. Some wear lipstick and track your every move." Then, "Don't worry, she's watching now. Maybe she'll finally explain it to you up close." The comments had been reported and removed within an hour, but not before someone screenshotted them and shared them on Twitter. I saw my own face in memes I didn't authorize. Captions like, "When you cancel your boss and uncancel his psycho ex instead." She thought she was fighting the patriarchy. Plot twist, the patriarchy was shielding her. I shut my laptop. I wanted to disappear. But it was too late for that. And deep down, I knew I needed to find Alex. Because whatever this was, it wasn't over. Not even close. I found Alex on a Tuesday. Technically, I found him on Venmo first. It was a desperate move. I'd searched his socials, tried Slack, even checked old project management tools for clues. Nothing. Then I remembered a random conversation from months ago where he'd mentioned splitting a sushi bill with our creative director via Venmo. And there he was. Active 2 hours ago. Payment to someone named T. Reynolds with the sushi emoji. I clicked the profile. The bio said, "Taking it easy, Montauk." Montauk, of course. Quiet, remote ocean breeze, the kind of place you go when you're burned out, hunted, or hiding. I didn't think, I just drove. 3 hours later, I was standing on the pebbled driveway of a gray-shingled beach house, clutching my keys like a weapon, wondering if I'd completely lost my mind. But before I could second-guess, the door opened. Alex stood there, pale, unshaven, like he hadn't slept in a week. He didn't look surprised. "Carly," he said softly, "I figured you might come." I blinked. "You did." He stepped aside, and I walked in. The place was cluttered in the way that said I came here to think and instead spiraled. Open laptop on the couch, dishes in the sink, a half-empty wine bottle next to a mug of cold coffee. "Sit," he said. "I'll explain everything." I sat. He didn't. He just started talking. I met Jeanette Daniels 4 years ago. She was a data analyst at my old firm. Smart, intense, funny at first, then scary. He rubbed his temples. She had this way of inserting herself into people's lives and making it feel like you needed her. And when you pulled back, she made you pay. He looked me in the eye. She never hit me, never screamed, but she watched. She followed. She threatened without words. She once left a USB drive on my desk labeled confidential that was full of photos, me at lunch, me on the subway, me with coworkers, taken from across the street. For months. I felt the hair on my arms rise. HR believed me somewhat. They got legal involved. I filed for a restraining order. It was granted temporarily, but then she vanished. Moved cities, changed numbers, we thought it was over. He exhaled, then I started this job. "And Erica?" I asked. His jaw tightened. "She was collateral damage. I didn't realize Jeanette had started tracking the company's social media. She saw a post celebrating Erica's promotion. The day after the post went up, Erica's sister got a package, no return address. Inside were screenshots of private DMs, messages out of context, things Erica had never written, but that looked damning. She freaked, quit within weeks." I stared at him, and then came me. He nodded, eyes heavy. "When I saw how visible you were becoming, how much attention you were getting from clients, how often your name came up in company wins, I panicked. You thought she'd come after me." "I knew she would. She doesn't go after randoms. She goes after women she thinks I admire, women she thinks are threats." I couldn't speak. He continued. "Not promoting you wasn't about your work. Your work is phenomenal. It was about keeping you under the radar. I know it was cowardly. I know it was wrong. But I figured, if I kept things neutral, if I didn't elevate anyone, maybe she'd lose interest." I swallowed. "That's not protection, Alex, that's erasure." He flinched. "I know, believe me, I know." I stood up, arms crossed. "She's watching me now, you know that, right?" He nodded slowly. "I'm sorry." "Sorry isn't enough. You let me think I was crazy. You let me go public, thinking you were the problem. I thought silence would be safer." Well, it was. We stood there in the tension. Two people who had tried to outmaneuver a monster and only made things worse. Then he said something that chilled me to my core. "She's not done." I froze. "She thrives on chaos. You've become the newest version of me, the new obsession, and she doesn't just stalk, she infiltrates, emails, friends, DMs. She finds the cracks and pours gasoline." My voice cracked. "What do we do?" He looked at me, defeated. "We survive, we document everything, and we stop pretending silence is strategy." Then he handed me something. A flash drive. "What's this?" Everything I have on her. Emails, messages, visitor logs, police reports. You're not alone anymore, Carly, but you need to know what you're dealing with. I clutched it in my hand like a match in the dark. She had been a ghost. But now I could see her shape. And I wasn't afraid of her anymore. I was going to burn the whole thing down. I didn't sleep that night. I stayed up downloading every file from Alex's flash drive, watching the nightmare unfold through timestamps, court documents, and gut-punching screenshots. Emails from burner accounts, doctored photos, letters with words cut out like a B-movie ransom note. This wasn't obsession. This was warfare. By morning, I had a plan. I drove straight to the office and walked into HR with a USB in one hand and a printed cover letter in the other. Lisa looked up from her keyboard, startled. "I need a meeting," I said, "now." She gestured toward the small glass room off the main floor. I laid it all out. Alex's ex, the stalking, the reason behind the promotion block, the photos, the note left at the front desk, the anonymous LinkedIn threats. I showed her the Polaroid. I showed her the blog post. I showed her the forum thread. Her face got paler by the minute. "I need you to take this seriously," I said, voice steady despite the knots in my stomach. "This isn't just a toxic dynamic anymore. This is a threat to employee safety." Lisa nodded, swallowing hard. "We'll loop in legal right away." I exhaled for the first time in days. By noon, corporate had been alerted. By 3 p.m., an external firm was contacted to conduct an independent investigation. I was given an escort to and from my car. My desk was moved to a temporary secure location. It was the first time I felt safe in weeks. And then, just as I started to breathe again, everything imploded. It started with a tweet. Someone posted a screenshot of a message thread, my name at the top, my photo, my title. The content: fabricated DMs. Racy, manipulative, like something out of a revenge plot. The implication: I had offered myself for promotion, that I was the aggressor, that Alex had been deflecting my advances the whole time. The tweet blew up in hours. Over 10,000 likes. I watched it happen like a car crash in slow motion. People were resharing it with hashtags like office feminism gone wrong and weaponized wokeness. My face, my actual face, was being plastered across meme accounts and right-wing commentaries. I checked LinkedIn. Dozens of comments under my viral post now read, "She played herself. Guess the patriarchy had receipts. Another false accuser bites the dust." I froze. Then my phone rang. Unknown number. I answered, breath shallow. A voice distorted. "Should have taken the hint, Carly, but you like attention, don't you?" Click. I sat there, hand clenched around the phone, every muscle in my body locked. Jeanette. It had to be her. Within hours, my personal Instagram was hacked. My college photos were leaked. A 10-year-old private Facebook post was screen-capped, twisted, and shared as evidence of a pattern. I received 3 emails from podcast producers wanting to hear the other side. And one from a journalist. "Care to comment on the developing story that you fabricated a workplace discrimination claim for clout?" I shut my laptop. I couldn't breathe. Then came the final blow. A video. Posted on a newly created TikTok account. Low-res, shaky, clearly taken from behind a bush. It showed me and Alex at the Montauk Beach house. Arguing. Me raising my voice, him handing me the flash drive. The caption: "So this is the victim. Looks like she got what she wanted after all." The comments were a swarm. Imagine faking harassment just to get closer to your boss. She brought him down and still wanted his files. Snake behavior. This is why men are scared to mentor women. I felt like I was falling through the floor. I called Alex. No answer. I called again. No answer. Then he finally texted. "She has someone watching me. I think she planted a camera. You need to go silent, right now." That night, Lisa called me from her personal phone. She sounded shaken. "The legal team wants to put out a statement, but they're concerned anything we say could escalate her. They believe the leaked video was obtained illegally. They're involving law enforcement." My voice cracked. "She's ruining my life, Lisa." "I know," she whispered, "and we're going to stop her." But even as she said it, I could feel the ground slipping. My inbox was flooded with messages I couldn't open. My parents were calling nonstop. A neighbor texted to say someone was parked outside my building for over an hour, engine running. I was no longer just a woman in a workplace conflict. I was a name on the internet. A target. And I'd started a war with someone who had nothing to lose. They say the truth always comes out. But no one tells you what it costs. By the time I sat down with the journalist from the Herald, my career was already ashes. My inbox was a graveyard. Clients pulled out of campaigns I was leading. People I mentored unfollowed me. My parents begged me to quit, move, start fresh. But I couldn't run, not this time. So I chose fire. The reporter, Maya, was the only one who didn't open with accusations. She listened, carefully, cross-referenced every document I gave her, timestamps, screenshots, police records, even the footage of Jeanette sitting in our office lobby, hiding behind a New Yorker magazine. When the article went live a week later, it wasn't a hit piece. It was a reckoning. The woman behind the whistle, Carly Jensen, stalking, and the price of speaking up. It went viral for the right reasons this time. People finally saw the full story, the manipulated screenshots, the years of harassment Alex had endured, the previous victim, Erica, who'd now gone on record to support me. The article didn't make me a hero. It didn't make Alex one either. But it exposed Jeanette for what she was, a professional saboteur with a long history of targeting women who got too close. And the fallout hit like a shockwave. The burner TikTok account vanished within hours. So did the LinkedIn smear thread. But the silence from my company, deafening. 3 days after the article dropped, I was summoned to a closed-door meeting. Alex was there, looking like he hadn't slept in weeks. Lisa was there, flanked by 2 lawyers from corporate. "We want to offer you a settlement," one of them said flatly. I blinked. For what? For everything: your name, your story, your silence. The NDA was thick. The number on the last page was bigger than anything I'd ever seen in my life. "This could be a fresh start," Lisa said gently. "It's not an admission of guilt, it's just closure." I looked at Alex. His jaw was clenched. He wouldn't meet my eyes. I asked them one question: what happens to her? The room went quiet. Lisa cleared her throat. "Legal is pursuing options." I stood up. "I don't want a settlement. I want a resolution. I want her held accountable." They didn't stop me as I walked out. And when the Herald called again, asking if I'd be willing to sit down on camera and tell the story myself, I said yes. The interview aired a week later. No filters, no spin. Just me in a black blazer telling the story of how I mistook fear for misogyny and how silence nearly cost me everything. It was messy, raw, and very, very human. After that, things shifted. Not overnight, but they did. The memes died down. A few people even apologized. Strangers sent messages like, "I thought I knew what happened. I didn't. Thank you for not going silent. This explains what happened to my coworker years ago. We thought she just quit." HR reopened its case. Not against me, but against the culture that let fear masquerade as policy. Alex resigned. Voluntarily this time. He sent me one message on his last day. "You were right to fight. I'm sorry I didn't back you when it mattered most." I didn't reply. Sometimes silence is the only thing you have left to give. Erica reached out. She's working at a nonprofit now, women's advocacy, ironically. We've started emailing. There's talk of starting a support network for women like us, for stories like this. And me. I'm rebuilding. Not just my career, but my sense of self. The woman I was before this happened would have taken that settlement, would have disappeared. But that woman thought silence was safety. Now I know better. Truth is risky, truth is messy, but truth is the only thing that ever really protects you. I didn't get the promotion. I didn't get justice, exactly. But I got something better. I got my voice back. Subscribe to my Mia's Stories YouTube channel for raw, emotional stories and authentic insights that encourage healing, growth, and understanding. Don't forget to be part of a supportive space where stories inspire and lessons resonate. What do you think about this story? Let us know in the comments. Your opinion truly matters to us, and we're here for you.